Hey guys, I want to do a recap today, and I'm actually recording chat from Thor is doing
Anyway,
his time. He's doing his
that's one good
recap.
idea.
Just fun. It's a
I don't even know
recap
what I
inside
said.
of the
I
recap.
just
He
said so
doesn't
much
hear
stuff.
us. No. He's talking about his trade on MU. He was short here at 68.81, and then you see he covered at 68.63. He covered some here, and then he's still in there. Yeah, he doesn't say anything right now. He just doesn't know. Recap
So take a
inside
tiny
of recap.
partial and moving to break even at the next pivot is not a good idea? Well, moving to break even might be a good idea. I mean, obviously, right, I'm telling you what I plan to do,
I don't know what
and
actually
everyone's strategy is going to be a little different. Like one thing, so I thought Andrew had some really good conversation during his time earlier, and he kind of talked about, how he and I trade very differently,
He talks about me right
which
now.
is really funny. But it just shows that even though I've emulated Andrew and I want to be like Andrew and be as cool as he is, when I started to learn how to trade, my trading style diverged from his significantly. Right? And how awesome is Andrew? Andrew is awesome because Andrew understands that not everyone trades the same way and that everyone's going to have to find their own edge. And because of that, he never tried to say, hey, Thor, I noticed that you're using these large bids and asks as gravity wells to pull that, and the common knowledge is that those are bounce areas, not pull areas. I never did it. Actually, he looked at it, and now he kind of does it too, right? We all do it. But it was something that we kind of looked into, and it was something that was different that I did that maybe not the entire market did. But instead of Andrew saying, no, this is the way it needs to be, he did the opposite. He says, well, if this works, then we should look at this. So and that's what makes BBT hands down just the coolest place, because it starts at the top and it trickles down, and our leadership promotes this humility that I find ever so refreshing in this world,
yes,
right?
So I want to do my own.
Anyway, so
I want to do
why
my own.
why
Let
I'm
me
saying
make him
that is
stop.
I
So.
had to find what works.
But this is
for
important.
me,
He's trying
right?
to say
and
that.
for
Let
me,
me
it was
actually
finding
mute him. So this is important. And what he was trying to say is that everyone has to find their own niche, and you don't need to trade like me or Thor or anyone else. We discussed about these levels, and then why I'm not using these levels and these support and pivot points. And then this morning I was discussing that because I'm a scalper, these levels on the distance is not really that important for me. For me, it's getting a good entry to get the move, and then I can scale out 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 1 to 1 based on that. But for someone like Thor or other people who wants to catch a move for a whole day like this, you need to have a much better support or resistance level as potential profit target. So you get a short here, and then now it's a cover. So these levels are really important for someone like Thor to have. But other than that, I just thought it's fun maybe recording for some time. He's still going on. But regardless, I want to do my own recap actually. The NIO. That was it's dropping. So I had a really good day at NIO and AMD. So let's see what we did here. NIO yesterday was really horrible for NIO on a daily chart, as you see here. Let me actually get rid of all of these levels and then we can draw it together. So yesterday opened really weak, broke all of these moving averages and came down. And then today in the pre-market also was really weak. It's horrible. It was just selling off in the pre-market from 44 all the way up to 40. So it was really weak, and people were really getting out of it. So the party was somehow kind of over. Opened strong. Actually there was not a lot of volume in the first minute, so opened somehow meh, and then suddenly huge drop. I went short at around 40, covered all the way up to 38.80, and I had some levels here because when I look at my chart, let me actually zoom in a little bit. When I looked at my chart, I realized that there is an area here that a couple of bounces here, that this is the only level that I see here somehow. Of course this one can be a level, these two can also be a level, but the main level that I saw was from these big wicks, and because we are in all-time high, and then if we were cracking this, we could easily go to 33 as well. So what happened was that's somewhere I had a couple of levels, so somewhere around here, and again these levels are kind of not 100% accurate. So that's an engulfing, so opening range breakdown, the strategy that I did was a 1 minute opening range breakdown and then sold off all the way up from 40 to 30A, and then it came back up. This was my stop loss at the break even. So short, cover, 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 and then it came out at the break even point. So after that, it came really squeezed back up. So let me go to the 5 minute chart. So after that, it really squeezed back up and it formed a pattern that what we call a bullish engulfing on a 5 minute chart. You know, tried to go lower, not only couldn't go, but it just suddenly squeezed back up. It means that the buyers won the battle. Now everyone is squeezing. And then I decided to take the trade to the short side at around 40.25 as soon as we came above the VWAP for a 5 minute opening range breakup. So what's the strategy? It's a 5 minute opening range breakup or bullish engulfing crack. And I went long at 40 and I just partialed out slowly and hold it through. And I'm actually, even right now to this moment, I'm still in there. So as you see, it's one of those trades that, you know, because actually I took an extra nap. So I just, I went long here at 40. And as you see, sold. Then we had this 44 level, which was the yesterday low. And then it went all the way up to green. I'm actually still in there. So I still 50 shares in there. And some IWM, some QQQ just for fun here, sitting just chilling out for open position. So as you see, that was a really amazing trade. So someone asked me, why didn't you take this as an opening range breakup when it came up? Well, there are two reasons that I didn't. First, because there was no volume yet. So really the auction hasn't happened and the volume didn't come in. So I really didn't want to take it. I know that the NIO needs at least a couple of million in the first minute or two, so the volume wasn't there. Second was the stock in that time was minus 10%, and it was so weak that I just really didn't want to take it to the opening range breakup. That's why as soon as the drop in came, the volume came in, I short. It wasn't a short selling restriction, but I got filled no problem and just went all the way down. So just the liquidity is so much on it that you usually get that. So I'm still in there. I'll probably close it. 50 shares. I probably close it. So as you see here, yeah, so short, cover, and then it came back break even. I could fill it by position, but I still wanted to see what it does at the VWAP. You know, it still was weak. It was down 10% that time. I didn't want to just, you know, go back down. So that's why I decided to really a lot of time these things happens. I needed to see that we are punching through the VWAP, and 5 minute chart really showed us that engulfing crack. What we call this is bullish engulfing. This is what we call a bullish engulfing. See, opened here, closed here, and then opened even lower, went even lower, and then suddenly squeezed back. So that's what we call a bullish engulfing. And this is a very powerful trade. As soon as just jump in, you could also trade it on a 5 minute opening range breakup. But again, for the weak stock in that moment, don't look at it, it's up 2%, it was 10% now. For a weak person, it's a little bit tough, but I was really had good confidence and just that the rest is really history. I was out most of my position. at around 44, and then to be honest with you, I went took a nap because I'm not feeling really well, and then it just came back and it still is at 47. So that's it. QQQ, I added today a little bit here on this drop. I added at 300. It just went back up. It's really extended on the daily chart, so it's really extended on the daily chart. I'm expecting it to come and test these moving averages again, but it's just apparently nothing brings this market down. So it just goes up. It might do a pullback toward this moving averages on the daily chart, but the market has been really strong. AMD was also another really nice trade that I did. Where is AMD here? Yeah, AMD was also a 5 minute opening range breakup, and damn, went up to 96. So that one at the open, it wasn't really doing anything, and it suddenly squeezed up. So I took this for kind of a 5 minute opening range breakup, although I went in the minute number 4 for the break of pre-market high at 94. So as you see, a lot of people in the chat also took that at around 93.40 all the way up to, I think the last piece I got about 93.60. I think AMD, and the reason that QQQ is going up because just the whole tech sector and semiconductors and everything are just keep moving up. And one of the things that I wanted to mention is, guys, that I personally had a lot of FOMO about a lot of sectors, like Bitcoin is going, oh, I'm not in there, but I am in there. When you have QQQ, when you're trading AMD, when you're trading MU, just like Thor was doing his trades, you are in there. It's not that you're not in there and you're missing out. It's just, but instead of that sector, which has a lot of commission and a lot of insecurity and question mark in it. You're actually trading stock market, which is kind of the volatility is kind of is correlating. But with a really solid, you can take $1 million position on this, but I would never do that on an exchange that I don't know in Bitcoin. And plus the commissions are significantly higher in Bitcoin. I mean, if you want to gamble, like throw $5,000 and see if you can grow a little bit. Bitcoin is fun. A lot of people are doing that. A lot of small money in there, like a casino style, but the big money, big institutional money, you want to go into the system that is more secure, more regulated, and you know what you're doing. Like, for example, I think there's another one, GBTC, is it the Bitcoin? Is that the... Yeah, so that's the Bitcoin Fine, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. So, you could buy this and you can get this move that start from October, from $9 all the way up to $23, but at least you know that there is some regulation and stuff in there. So that's another way of doing it. Or some companies like Riot, this is a blockchain company. We used to trade it back in 2016-17. As you see, it's coming back up. So you can just always find equivalent of that mess into the stock market, and that's the beauty of this. You don't need to really go on something that you don't have trust, especially when you're trading large size. So it was a pretty good day for me, so what day today is? Today's Wednesday. We have the webinar tonight. See you guys tonight in the webinar, if not tomorrow in the chat. December has been starting really well in the last couple of days. Thanks guys, cheers.